Welcome to lesson 79 of our interactive notes. And we are working on classifying two-dimensional figures, pages 33 and 34. So our content objective for 4th grade Geometry 2. I can classify two-dimensional shapes based on what I know about their geometrical attributes. Language objective. I can use vocabulary related to geometry to classify shapes. Social objective. I can work with others to use models to help identify classifying shapes. So here we have a lot of vocabulary. So you need to know what these different terms mean. A plane figure. A plane figure is a flat or two-dimensional closed figure that can be made of straight lines, curved lines, or both. So they're flat. They're not three-dimensional. They don't have depth to them. Okay, two-dimensional shapes. Oh, I don't know why dimensional ended up being two parts. Sorry about that. Two-dimensional shapes. They're flat geometric shapes that can be measured in two directions, length and width. So we only have length and width, no height or depth. Attribute. An attribute is a particular characteristic that describes an object. Description that connects something to a related group. So all these shapes here have parallel sides. So that's an attribute they all share. Defining attribute. A characteristic that defines a property of quality of an object. Okay. Triangles are all shapes that have three closed sides. That is a defining attribute. That makes it a triangle. Category. A class, a group, a system of classification based on common attributes. So putting it into a group based on something that they have in common. So these are blue owls, these are pink owls. That's what they're being categorized as. Closed shape. A figure with connected lines, unbroken lines. Polygons are closed shapes. So see, this one has an open spot, so it is not closed. This one is completely closed. All the lines are connected. Polygon is a two-dimensional, 2D, closed figure made of straight lines. So it's closed like this. All the lines are straight. So a circle would not work because those are curved lines. We need all straight line segments. A regular polygon, a two-dimensional figure consisting of straight lines with all sides of the same length and all angles of the same measure. So it's a polygon, but what makes it special is that all the sides are the same length. So a square would be a regular polygon, an equilateral triangle. As long as all the sides and angles are the same measure, then it would be a regular polygon. Okay, so now we're getting into naming different shapes by the defining attribute of how many sides they have. A triangle is a polygon with three sides and three angles. Quadrilateral, well, quad means four. Tri means three. Quad means four. So a quadrilateral, this means sides. Three angles, this means three sides. A polygon with, quad is four sides. A polygon with four sides and four angles. Pent means five. So, and a gon would have to do with sides. Pentagon, 5 sides. A polygon with 5 sides and 5 angles. Hex is 6. So if you remember that they both have an X. 6 has an X, hex has an X. 6 sides, a polygon with 6 sides and 6 angles. Oct means 8. A polygon with 8 sides and 8 angles. Dec means 10. So a decagon is a polygon with 10 sides and 10 angles. Okay, so here we have different two-dimensional shapes with their names. Circle, oval, triangle, square, rectangle, rhombus, trapezoid, parallelogram, pentagon, hexagon, octagon. These are all two-dimensional plane figures, but only some of these would be considered polygons. They all have to be closed. Well, these are all closed, and they all have to have straight sides. So that means circle and oval will not work. All the rest of these have straight sides that connect. Now, we do have some that are irregular, that may look a little bit different, but as long as they have straight sides that don't have any openings, they would be considered polygons. Circles and ovals are not. Any openings or gaps that aren't closed, just lines that have no closed or will cross would be not be polygons. Okay, so here we're looking at a rectangle. It has 4 sides. It has 4 angles. And actually all of these in a rectangle are right angles. That's what makes it a rectangle. And these 2 sides are parallel, and these 2 sides are parallel. So we have 2 pairs of parallel sides. Here we have a trapezoid. It has 4 sides. It has 4 angles. It has, this one has 0 right angles, but some trapezoids can have a right angle. Pair of parallel sides, well, these 2 sides are parallel. If I extend them out, they will not cross. But these 2 sides, if I extend them out, will cross. They will intersect. So we only have 1 pair of parallel sides. Here we have a right triangle. We have 1, 2, 3 sides. We have 1, 2, 3 angles. We have 1 right angle because these 2 are acute. And we have no parallel sides because if we had parallel sides, then they would not all 3 connect. You can't have parallel sides in a triangle. Pentagon, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 angles. This pentagon has 0 right angles. We have all obtuse. You can have a right angle in a pentagon, but not this one, and not in a regular one. And parallel sides, we have 0. We really only get parallel sides when there's an even amount of sides. Parallelogram, we have 4 sides. We have 4 angles. This one has no right angles. We have 2 obtuse, 2 acute. If we had right angles, then it would be a rectangle or a square. We do have a pair of parallel sides here, and we do have a pair of parallel sides here. So we have 2 pairs of parallel sides. Sorry, I forgot to put the 0 for right angles. Here, a square, we have 4 sides. We have 4 angles. And all 4 angles are right angles. So it is a rectangle. And pair of parallel sides, well, these 2 are parallel, and these 2 are parallel. So we have 2. So it's also a parallelogram. Now looking at this information, we're going to categorize them. Shapes with more than 1 right angle. So more than 1. We have 2 here. I'm sorry, we have 4 here. 0. We only have 1 here. That 1 is not more than 1, so that won't count. 0, 0, and 4. So shapes with more than 1 right angle would be rectangle and square. Okay, if we want to categorize it with shapes with no right angles. Well, this does have, this one doesn't, this one does, doesn't, does. So the 3 here that do not have right angles is what we want to list here. So trapezoid, Pentagon, and Parallelogram. Okay, shapes with exactly 4 sides. So 4, 4, this one has 3, this one has 5, 4, and 4. So the ones that have exactly 4 sides, we have rectangle, we have trapezoid, we have parallelogram, and we have square. So we're looking at different attributes, different characteristics that these have, different attributes that these shapes have, and then we can put them into different categories based on those. All right, let's go ahead and do some more with our 3-column notes.